If you are holding XRP right now and you want to earn yield with that, well, you better be careful because there are some risks involved into this. Because you're going to put your hard-earned money into this by the hope of making money with that, but there are some things you really need to be aware of. Because the last thing I want is for something bad to happen to you guys. So in this video, I'm going to cover XRP yield, the beautiful part of making yield, and also the bad part. What is going on, everybody? It's King Karan with another XRP content for you guys. And let us first start with a tweet from Quantic. He's a very well respected individual in the Web3 world. He knows a lot about DeFi, and he's obviously also a very well respected individual in the Flare community. And he's also the founder of Proof Rails, that is making sure that every blockchain transaction can be turned into ISO 222 messaging, which is actually amazing. But let me read this for you guys. Do you know what a serious risk is that few people talk about? Putting your assets into a black box with the promise of returns. These types of products exist, and XRP Fi users should be very careful when selecting yield products. Fully on-chain, transparent yield is the answer to always be able to track your funds and understand the risks involved. The sad thing is that not many will be willing to talk openly about this because it's not convenient. Well, we're going to talk about this in this video, and I've also mentioned this multiple times in my previous videos, but I'm going to have a whiteboard session for you guys to explain everything, the risks regarding earning yield with your XRP. So let's go. So welcome everybody to another whiteboard session. The first thing we should know is what is yield? Very important. Simple question, but it's very important for the new people. When you have 100 XRP and there's a friend out there who wants to borrow your 100 XRP and he's telling you, hey, at the end of the month, I will give you your 100 XRP back, but I will pay you with a bit of interest. So in total, I will give you 105 XRP. So then your yield is 5 XRP. That is the interest that he's paying you back because he borrowed you 100 XRP. So that is yield, ladies and gentlemen. But this is real life, and we're talking about earning yield in DeFi. When you're going to earn yield in DeFi in a decentralized way, you're actually earning the yield just like this, but obviously in a digital way. You have people who want to borrow, but you also have people who want to lend. So once they also pay fees, so let's say interest rates, fees, interest, and this can also be fees from people swapping their assets on that network, that portion of the fee, and everything from these interests, you will also get a portion from that, and everything combined, that's the yield that you get, because you are actually getting a part from the whole revenue of the network, right? So of everything that is earned from the fees or the interest from people who wants to borrow in DeFi, everything combined, you get a small portion, and that's your yield. But it obviously depends how much you are putting into it. So the more you put into it, the more yield you get. So this is exactly how this actually should work in a decentralized way that is permissionless, because this system is actually doing things automatically. So let me talk about the 3 biggest places where you can get yield. Doppler, XLR, Flare. And I'm going to compare everything, so you should be aware of this. So with Doppler, this is all managed by a team. So every yield strategy, like I explained to you with the fees and all of that, they're doing this on other chains. And they are doing this. With XLR, it is also a team, but it's also with validators. So it has a layer 1, kinda, but it's only for interoperability. It's not for DeFi, right? And with Flare, it's a layer 1, and yes, you have a team, obviously, but if that team is gone, the network is still up and running because they have a DeFi ecosystem, a DeFi eco. And they also have validators, right? They have oracles, they have more decentralization into this network. Because when I look at it right now, you have Doppler over here. You're trusting a team that actually does the strategies for you in order for you to earn yield. And with XLR, you are trusting XLR with his team and the validators with the bridging and all of that and all of these tools that can also have some troubles, right? Because you have a lot of bridges that you need to go through in order to get yield, and there is just a lot of things happening with XLR. A lot of tools, but if one tool goes wrong, yeah, it can really go wrong. Or you have a Flare with a layer 1 DeFi ecosystem plus validators and oracles and smart contract capabilities. Let's not forget about that. Plus smart contracts. So this is a big difference, because with Flare, you don't need to trust this team here, just like you need to trust them. Because when Doppler goes bust, where is your funds going to be, right? Are they going to freeze that? If XLR goes bust, I mean, this is not a layer 1 in a DeFi way. This is a layer 1 in an interoperability way. You have to be involved in certain bridges. A lot of tools that they are using. And when you have Flare, permissionless, guys. Permissionless. Decentralized. You don't need to trust this team over here. This entire DeFi ecosystem is actually in a way that no one can control that whole system, right? And that's why it's a layer 1. It has smart contract capabilities, and it also has oracles. So it has all the tools to be a fully decentralized ecosystem where you can earn yield. And also the way how you earn yield, because on Doppler over here, they are doing the strategies for you. And with XLR, they're also doing the strategies for you, and plus they have a validator. But with Flare, you are actually earning the rewards automatically because of the fees on this system and because of the revenue, what is really happening on that layer 1. So you don't need to trust Flare. You don't need to pray that Flare keeps on existing, because the Flare network will continue to exist. Even if the team is gone. That won't happen, but let's say it will. The Flare network is still up and running. What is going to happen with XLR once they go bust or once they go bankrupt? Well, one thing I can tell you, if that happens, let's pray that will never happen, but let's say if that happens, the last thing that they will think about is about your funds, because they're going to think about their own money. Just like Doppler, Doppler is even more centralized than XLR, let's be honest, because you have only a team behind everything. So they are way more centralized than XLR. And XLR, I would say, is partly centralized. But then the question remains, who would you trust? I mean, you don't need to trust in general, because you're using this Flare DeFi ecosystem that you don't need to trust. But here you do need to trust. You don't need to pray that if something happens to Doppler or XLR, where will your funds be? Will it be frozen? And that is the concern for a lot of people. That's why a lot of people would rather hold their XRPs on their Ledger Nano. They don't want to take these risks, But with Flare, Flare is the clear winner. They are decentralized, permissionless. You don't need to ask permission to Flare because the things what you do is automatically, right? It's fully collateralized already. It's backed by security. If something happens, you already have collateral. Everything is set up. Smart contracts are so secure that they're even paying hackers to hack them. And they keep on failing. So the clear winner here is Flare. And it's not just only earning yield. You can borrow, you can lend, you can have the full DeFi experience on Flare. And they have been building this for years, guys. Way before XRP-Fi was a thing. So I really hope that you guys are aware right now what is really happening when you are going to earn yield with your XRPs. Because at the end of the day, these are your hard-earned XRPs, and the last thing you want is to put your funds into a company, and that's the mistake. You're putting your funds into a company that you trust and you pray that nothing will happen to that company. And once that company goes bust, once that company goes bankrupt, what will happen with your funds? And this already happened multiple times before. Look at Celsius, right? Everybody trusted Celsius. Oh, nothing will happen. And once that company went bust, where were your funds? Because your funds were gone. So at the end of the day, you should always seek for permissionless, decentralized yield. Yield that you can earn, that you can track, that you can see. And once Flare or Hugo Filion, the CEO of Flare, goes away, as an example, the Flare network is still running. They cannot stop it. They cannot grab your funds like that because everything is decentralized and permissionless. And that's the big difference between Flare and these other companies. Because Flare is doing something really different because they are building an entire DeFi experience for XRP. You can borrow, lend, you can earn yield in so many different ways. But with these companies, it's different because you need to trust them. Hopefully, they will keep your funds. And yeah, you can earn yield, but I don't know when they will stop dancing. I have no clue. Because once that company is gone, I don't know where your funds will go. So that is why I highly recommend you to explore Flare. I'm not here to tell you, oh, put your money into Flare. You should explore Flare because I will put some links down below for you guys to be more aware of the things what Flare is actually building. Because Flare has not just been building this for some months, they have been doing this for years, guys. And they have built an entire DeFi world for XRP, and that's why I find it so beautiful because it's all decentralized, permissionless. You can just participate just like that without praying that everything goes well because everything will go well even without the people because this is a DeFi system that cannot be taken away. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed this content. Make sure to like, subscribe, and don't forget to put something down below. Let me know what you think about this video, and I'll see you guys next time.